All right, what's going on, guys? So it's been a little while since I've done, I suppose, a bit of an update on what's going on with like Big Ant Studios and things like that. So they are the creators for AO Tennis, or they developed the second Tennis World Tour game, which there's probably still a lot of people that don't realise. Uh, they were, they were, they did get partnered with Nacon. I don't really know how you pronounce it. They used to be Big Ben Interactive, who changed their name about 2 or 3 years ago. They obviously copped a lot of flack for the first Tennis World Tour game and some of their rugby games and things like that. But it is what it is. They are just the publisher. They are not the developer. I had to keep referencing to people, particularly with the first Tennis World Tour game, which was done by Breakpoint Studios, the developer. But yeah, most people would put the blame on Big Ben Interactive, as they were called at that point in time, and yeah, got really frustrating to have to keep saying, they're the publisher. Like, yeah, they're probably responsible for most of the money being put in and probably getting that first game pushed out way earlier than what it should have been. But at the end of the day, the developer is the one that's got to continue supporting the game and things like that. Which, yeah, in both instances with the first Tennis World Tour and the second, yeah, support from both Breakpoint and Big Ant was pretty minimal at best. But yeah, so I came across this article. It's dated back from April, so it is like nearly 4 months old. But yeah, got shared on one of the forums I'm on, a cricket related forum, Planet Cricket to be exact. And it's an article, uh, talking to the CEO, Ross Simmons or Simons. I don't really know how you pronounce it. To be honest, I don't care because not a big fan of him anyway, and he's not a big fan of me, and that's okay. But he can't handle criticism in any way, shape, or form, so that's on him. But so Big Ant been going since the early 2000s, 2000 to be exact. So 22 years now. But I just found it absolutely amazing that he has a plan to supposedly become the world's biggest sports game developer, which I think is a massive reach because you think about it. You look at sports game developers. Obviously, the two biggest are EA and 2K. And you look at what they've got under the belt. EA's got FIFA. Obviously, FIFA's going to go with the whether there's still going to be FIFA games after this year. I don't know, but obviously EA is doing their own thing after this year's game. So I think they were calling it EA Sports FC or something like that. Whether FIFA decides to find another developer or publisher to go with to keep the branded FIFA stuff going, who knows? But you also look at they got a golf game coming out next year as well. So the 2K's got another golf game coming out. But then you look at 2K, they've got NBA 2K, which is a massive game. Like, I mean, say what you will about the game, but I mean, it's very successful. And they've also got the WWE games as well. So him trying to say that they're going to be the biggest in the world, like, yeah, I admire the ambition, but it's a big reach because yeah, I mean, it's all well and good to go from a staff number of 66 to 200, but I dare say EA and 2K have got that covered well and truly in terms of staff numbers and the quality that they produce. Because I don't know, the gaming industry in Australia is just, it's never really been yeah, I don't know. It's never really been big enough here to like. I mean, we're a country of 25, 26 million, so it's yeah. I don't know. The game development's not really been very successful in this country, so I say good luck. But on the other hand, you look at it. It's been over 2 years since we last saw the previous AO Tennis 2, Tennis World Tour 2. A lot of people are probably wondering like why they didn't support both games considerably after release. To be honest, they moved on to their next projects very quickly. The last cricket game came out. I think it was last November that came out. So there was that. They're currently working on a Rugby World Cup game. They're also working on another AFL game. Undoubtedly, they're probably working on the next cricket game as well. And it would not surprise me if they're working on the next tennis game as well. I would say it will probably be a combination of AO and Tennis World Tour together. I'd be very surprised if they keep those two separate, because now that they're developing both, I would imagine it would just be combined into one. Otherwise, it really is just a cash grab. If they still plan to release both those games, it wouldn't make much sense, given the fact that they are the developer for both. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really difficult to see how they properly focus on whatever the next tennis game they do is, because they've already got like plenty on their plate as it is with this Rugby World Cup game, the new AFL game. I mean, their last attempt at a rugby style game was hit the microphone. Was a rugby league game, Rugby League Live 4, which I think came out about 5 years ago, and that was god awful. I really don't know how they. I mean, they keep saying he's a big sport fan. I know the CEO is like AFL is his number one. That is his baby. So he must be absolutely ecstatic to have that back in the portfolio. But they typically don't do team sports very well. Like cricket is probably their benchmark, but there's a lot of flaws in the cricket games as well, which it don't seem like a lot of the issues don't ever seem to get addressed, and if they do, they then create new ones every time they put a patch out. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but unfortunately, we really don't have a lot of info at this point in time. They typically will drop. They'll typically drop a game. Like, I mean, the AO tennis games, the first and second got announced like a couple of months before they got released. I think the last one got announced in November for a January release. So as you can see, it came out just before the pandemic kicked off. And then Tennis World Tour followed a couple of months later. Since then, they've done 100, so another cricket game, but that was just a mobile game. Cricket 22, which came out last year. Currently working on an AFL game that's set to come out next year. Rugby World Cup game also set to come out next year. Typically, when they're releasing something, you don't hear or see anything on it until about a month, maybe 2 months at max, before it comes out. So yeah, very limited info at this point in time, but I guess we'll see as the next few months go by if we're going to get another tennis game, and yeah, not much more at this point in time.